How are you this evening? I've been waiting for this cigarette. Okay, it's not good to smoke. Now, what did I find out? Nothing new. When you cut corners, okay, like on the D, when you cut that corner, the bottom corner of the D that is cut is the same angle and cut as the Q letter and has the line coming out of it. So a portion of the D is also the Q, and we have Dairy Queen. It's the 4th letter and the 17th letter, 21, alpha beta. Therefore, the D is not to divide, it's not DC, it's not destruct. D are the 4 corners, okay? The reason why an O shouldn't have any corners and why the O is round. Does anybody know why the O is round? Because we can't have 4 corners in this world. It doesn't work that way. We have 4 corners, but it's not the same kind of corners as what you're thinking. We can't have 4 corners. We just can't. It's a stop sign world. There's no corners. So the corners are cut. So the oval gets squished in, and that's why our letters 0, or number 0, looks like it's squished and looks like a sphere. Because the worlds are pulled in. You want to see what it looks like? If I can get this over to you. Hold on a second. Oh my God. It's right by my fingers. Can you see that loop? That loop-to-loop? Well, that's your letter U. It's pulling the center. The center pin is not the part of this planet. It's part of the center pin, and it's pulling both sides together. Okay, that's the Aleph. Okay, and what it pulls together are the 2 worlds through that center pin. It's like pulling 2 islands together. It's almost like in the Avatar when the islands were floating. That's what we are. What are we? We're in the middle of space, man. Look around you. We're hanging to nothing. We're floating. It's like Avatar. They're telling us the truth out of Hollywood. Don't you see it? It's all over the place, man. So anyways, in order to make a proper cube, you need a 6 by 6. Why? I can't start telling you now. It's just something I learned. It becomes 36. You need 4, because there's 4 sides with no roots to a dice. Okay, is 1/44 of 3 worlds. 0, 0, 0. 144,000 midway angels. Just enough for the 4 worlds. Okay? Because it's split up, don't forget the worlds. Man goes east-west in heaven turns. I don't know exactly how it works. The alpha beta world, the exterior. What I will tell you is that when you have these slanted, excuse me, I want to get back to this. No, okay, I'm jumping off to something else. In Hebrew, the SHIN has 3 yods on it. The yod is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, is the 10th letter. So the SHIN has 3 yods. It's the 10th letter. That makes 30. Plus it has the dot on the right. The dot on the right is the Spirit of God. Okay? The Spirit of God. The dot on the left on the SHIN, okay, is just spirit. SHIN is with the spirit and man. SHIN is without the man and just the spirit. Just part of the nature. And in this book that I'm reading right now, okay, these colors actually are very helpful because Aleph is God, and he's red. And 1, 2, 3, 4 parts later, the corners, they're all God's corners. So it's red, okay, and they just tell you where it is. Every single letter in here. So we have the SHIN and the SIN. So what people are always looking for is what is the four-headed SHIN or SIN? Well, it's the whole thing together. It's everything together. It's the world, it's the man, it's the soul, it's everything together. The four-headed Shin. Okay? Now, there's one actual letter, okay, that does not have the Yod on it. And that's the LAMEDD. Okay? And I think the LAMEDD, okay, does not have the Yod on it because it hangs up high, okay, in the third story of where the one spot is on the tic-tac-toe. Now when the worlds come together, the seventh spot connects to that one spot right there, God and Spirit, right away. That's the first connection, God and Spirit. So the minute they connect, it squishes because now the corner is going to be used and it's now got to be an octagon corner. That's the way it is because things are split up in this world. We share, they share in heaven. They have to use the one up, they have to use the one down. They have to use the 7 up, they have to use the 7 down. They have to use the Pepsi and the Coke, 7 up. Anyways, so that's the four-headed and three-headed Shin. Another thing with Shin, okay, it seems like the letters are squeezed together, and it's actually saying the passage of creation and birth. Man dies and goes up to heaven. That's what it says. And I never read these in a book, so these are just out of my hand. Man dies, goes up to heaven. And that's the four-headed Shin. The tub, what I wanted to tell you before about the tub that I didn't mark down, is that the tub has a big relation to the swastika, in which I found today. And I'm quite sure I'm going to bump into it if I can. Obviously, here it is. Let me show you. Okay. Okay. You see the bottom, just in red? That's a tub. Now, if I lower the book a little bit, there's a tub upside down. That's tub over tub. Anybody know Hebrew? Tub over tub. What does that mean? Okay. When you unwind them, that's what the world looks like. Here's the swastika, and when you unwind the swastika, this is what it turns into. And this is the world we live right now. Basically the carcass, bones, and the background. Each square individualized by 4 places. Each place cut in half and split at the crossroads between heaven and man. I don't know how that works, but I know we rust and we get all kinds of diseases and we die. So there's a crossroads between the spirit and the soul, and the spirit must be removed. And we live with spirit. There is spirit in us. So now you saw the tub. What else do you want to know about the Hebrew? Let me see. Oh yeah. The final tzadi and the tzadi look like the letter Y. But in all the letters, okay, it looks like the letter Y, and it could be a Y. But anyways, we're not going to look at the tzadi. We're going to look at the Shin. There's no letter here that has the W sound in it. Okay? But the Shin looks like a W. Red and green. Spirit, creation, and the elements that created man, the natural soil of the heavens. Okay, and the spirit, green, Shin and Sin. Total 46. 4 angles of man. One day I can show you exactly how it works. Okay? So I don't even have to read anything about this. I just know because of where the placements are on the board. You know, I know all the letters, the final Nun, the final Tzadi, and all in the Hebrew letters that overextend to the bottom. Well, all those letters is because the bottom says, I'm explaining all of these. It's explaining what's in its line. So it explains it. There's only 3 rows. After that, the first row, 1, 2, 3, it tells you a story. 4, 5, 6, it tells you a story. But when you go up horizontally, it doesn't tell you the same story anymore. Okay, 3, 6, 9, and one is creation, one is man, one is a birth of some sort. Don't forget it's a laboratory. Okay, you got to think of this as all a laboratory. You got to think of it small. If you start thinking that I'm telling you exactly how this world came to be, and you're going to say it's too big for my mind to handle. Okay, think everything small, peanuts. get out some peanuts. Actually, get out something like cubes, a lot of cubes, a lot of dice cubes, and stick them together. Stick them together like they stick the glass houses together, like castles in the sky. You don't think there's a rhythm to this world? That I am finding all these things that you might be bewildered for what I speak. For I am not only lost when I speak to you, I am lost when I am alone. But I still have the findings that show up for what I find. So anyways, in the swastika, there's one letter that looks like the iron, okay? There's a letter that looks like the iron, right underneath the swastika, okay? So I'm going to tell you one thing, for those people who don't like the swastika, I'm going to tell you what the swastika says. It tears apart everything. It tears apart creation. It tears apart the letters. It twists and turns things around, and they're no longer exactly what they were, and that is what the swastika turns out to be. But I can redesign that swastika, okay, to come out to so many things. In fact, I can turn it into 4 perfect diamonds. Okay? I could turn that swastika into whatever I want. Paint the insides, change the lines, add lines. It's no longer what you think it is. Where's that swastika in here? Where's the hair? You want to see? See if you can see this. Okay? This image here, okay, that's the swastika. Okay? The LAMEDD that you see at the core, well, that's its principal lines of passage, okay? Now, the movements of those arms created within it those other arms. And those other arms create the I at one point and the H at another point. Everything's always coming back to the H and the I, and I'm talking about the dotted lines now. And not only that, it's unbelievable because I'm like building a castle. I went from 1 square to 4 squares, and now they're showing me I can do 60 squares, and I'm working 6 by 6. So they're showing me 6 by 6 would be 1, 2, 3 by 3 by 3. My worlds aren't 3 by 3 anymore, so there's many, many changes in the way I have to look at things. Video cassettes, the number 5. What can I do with the Greek letter? I'm going to always present back this book. This book presents to you, okay, 12 tribes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on each side. Within the 12 tribes, okay, somehow we have 4 families. There's more than one way to express what I'm going to tell you, okay? Because you can break it down to Abraham and Jacob. You can break it down to where it started from the kings of King David. It depends. If you just want to talk about the heavens, we'll say, okay, there's a yellow heaven, a red heaven, there's man's heaven, and there's the beta heaven. So what are we actually saying? What is the terminology, or what are we saying? Well, this is heaven regardless, okay? Definitely man is included in there. Let's say we don't include spirit. Let's say we bring birth, okay, for man and birth for God. 2 different worlds. So then there's 4 worlds there. And again, the yellow world of the earth of what we come from, we return in spirit. But anyways, over here, okay, there's 4 different worlds of 7. Then there's Hebrew writing. It has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 5 letters. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Okay? And I'm assuming there's one with spirit. There's one for the earth maybe. And there's got to be, there's one for the beta world. The red god, but something's got to say something about spirit. I know. So, anyways, it's a Yud, a Zayin, a Chet, and a Mem. It looks like, or a Tet, So I don't know what that means, but this book says 5775, the year right here. These ball bearings here. This says 5775, and this little dot. Okay, as you can see, the 4 dots. Well, this is the baby dot because man's being reborn again right here. Man is being reborn in 5775. That is the year, 5775. Starting September 21st of this year, we have to watch. Whose side are you on? Once the truth is known, all men at battle all soldiers will stop. All soldiers will stop once